Hey there, my friends. It is Jessica from I Read to Relax, and I just wanted to pop on real quick before this video to mention that I actually filmed this before the end of January, and it was my final book haul of 2025. And I still want to share it with you because I really want to share the books that I got, but I do realize now that it's January 8th. And so we had a little delay in actually getting the video posted, but yeah, I hope you enjoy anyway. So welcome to my final book haul of 2025. Miss Valentine and I are here tonight with a book haul for you, the last book haul of the year, and some of these I forgot to share from a while ago, so it's a little collection of things I got right at the holidays and then some things before. About to stock up my TBR shelf, and so I figured I should probably share these before I put them on there. So let's just dive in. This, as I said, is a mix. Some of them are books I've already read. Some of them are things that will go onto my TBR. One of the first things that I got, and this is purely for nostalgia and just because it's so pretty, this is the new boxed collector's edition of Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. Now, this is not one of my favorite series. It's not one of my favorite books of all time, but it is a book that holds sort of a special place, I think, for a lot of us. It just is one of those series that became truly a phenomenon, and it is beautiful in this edition. I love the cover. I love the gilded edges. I think this is so cool. They set it up so that the edges have Bella and Edward, depending on which way you sort of splay them. I think it's so cool what they can do now with printing. So again, it's just such a pretty edition. And it comes in this hard slipcase, which is also gorgeous. So it is a book that I've reread once since I read it originally. And I watch the movie all the time. Again, not because it's great, but the soundtrack is phenomenal. And I love just having it on in the background when I'm doing stuff. But I'm happy to have a copy of this on my shelf. Just because it does make me smile, even though it's not the best book ever. A book that I was also super excited to get for Christmas is Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake. And I love this sprayed edge. I just think that's such a dynamic color combo. But I'm really excited to add this to my TBR. It just sounds so intriguing. The tagline is "Good girls deserve a treat." And I'm not going to read the entire synopsis, but I'll give you a sort of a rundown. It says, every member of the house, the most exclusive sorority on campus, and all of its alumni are beautiful, high-achieving, and universally respected. So there's a sophomore, she's, pledging. Then there's an adjunct professor who's struggling to return to work after accepting a demotion. And she's been home with her newborn daughter. She feels very out of things, very schlumpy, but she gets invited to be the house's academic liaison. And so the two, the pledge and the new academic liaison, get drawn deeper into the arcane rituals of the sisterhood. They learn that living well comes with bloody costs. And when they are finally invited to the table, they'll have to decide just how much they can stomach in the name of solidarity and power. So this is sort of like sorority sisters gone wrong, and I am so here for it. I can't wait to dive into this one. Very excited for that. The last one that I got for Christmas is Adrift in Currents Clean and Clear by Shannon McGuire. And I believe this is book 10 in the Wayward Children series. And this is a series of novellas. They're all super short, but they are phenomenal. Each and every one of them is a little bit different. the idea of the overall series is that the children who go through portals into other worlds, so think like through the wardrobe to Narnia, down the rabbit hole to Wonderland, flying through the sky to Never Never Land. The children who have those experiences, when they inevitably come back to the real world, can never fit in again. And society deems them strange or mad or whatever. And so they end up at sort of like this halfway house. And so all of the children there have collectively ended up there because they've had this other world experience. And most of them are just longing to go back to this other world because it's where they actually felt like they fit in. For whatever that weird world was, it was the weird world for them. That's why they found it. So each book sort of explores a story of the different kids and like the world they experienced or how they're trying to get back to it. And they're just so good. Shayna McGuire is a phenomenal author. I bought myself this one post-Christmas. And I actually bought the UK version. So in the US, this book is Book Club Hotel. And I just read it and it was so good. And it hit me in just the right way. And I decided I really wanted to own a copy, but I really hate the cover of the US version. And so I saw this UK edition and the title's a little bit different. I'll have to reread it at some point to see if anything else is different other than, you know, UK spellings. But I really loved it. The story is that there is a young widowed owner of like a bed and breakfast type hotel in Vermont. And she's raising her small child and she's struggling because her husband just died within a couple of years, and she's trying to live up to like his expectations for the inn. And in the meantime, three women who have been friends since college, they're all just about turning 40, are all at sort of like a tumultuous point in their life for one reason or another. One has two children that are just about to go to college and she's facing empty nest syndrome. One not only just got out of a 10-year-long relationship, but also lost her job, and so she's completely at sea. And then the third is very successful in her career, but not so successful in relationships, though she's prickly and claims that she doesn't want a relationship. But she's also the reason they're at this specific inn. There's a secret, a reason why she wants to be there, but she hasn't told her friends. And they meet once a year for a whole week to do like a book club discussion and a life catch up and all of that. And so the four women end up together at this inn. And obviously all of their problems come to the forefront and they all figure things out, and it was so good. So I'm very excited to have my own copy. And it's so pretty. Another one that I ended up ordering myself, a lovely special edition because I enjoyed it so much and I want to reread it in the future, is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. And I listened to the audiobook edition of this one, and it is such a gorgeous, like, grown-up fairy tale. It feels very much like The Princess Bride, or oh god, I love the illustrations are great. Yeah, it feels very much like The Princess Bride and that type of somewhat tongue-in-cheek, very lyrical, definitely has that storytelling vibe, but also has a female main character who grows so much and sets out to save her love, and not only like becomes the hero in his story, but becomes the heroine for everyone's story. Like, she is phenomenal and still so sweet and true and brave and has her little quirks. And Tress is a great character. And so Brandon Sanderson had done like a Kickstarter project during the pandemic when he wrote these 4 novels and came out with these really lovely editions with the gorgeous covers and the artwork. And I was lucky enough to find a copy on Pango Books that wasn't completely outlandish, and so I invested in a nice copy of this book because I really, really loved it, and I really, really can't wait to be able to sit down and read it again and experience it in sort of the physical form in that beautiful book copy. Another chunky book that is going straight on my TBR that I'm excited to try is Fairytale by Veronica Lancet. I actually ordered this from Waterstones in the UK so that I could get the paperback copy. I've heard this described as like the book that's going to gaslight you. So you think you know what's happening, then you have no idea what's happening, then you have no idea what will happen, and I'm very curious to experience this. It's set in the 50s, and an orphaned English teacher from Boston receives a letter that her biological father has passed, and she's included in his will, but she has to travel to Fairytale to attend his funeral in order to get whatever her inheritance is. So she decides to go to Fairytale, not only for the inheritance, but to try and find out more about her past. And things start to go wacky as soon as she gets there. Odd residents, odd rumors, odd deaths. Everything is odd. And then she meets the broody Caleb Hale, part of the infamous Hale family. And she also starts to have someone haunt her dreams, a nobleman from 2 centuries in the past. So, like I said, everyone who talks about this is very careful sort of how they word things, and a lot of people either love it or hate it. So I'm very, very curious to see what my reaction will be, but it sounds like a journey I'm willing to try to take. So I'm excited to try that. And then the last 2 books I have to share with you today are ones that I picked up from Target when they were having a big sale, because they are gorgeous looking editions, and it's a series I want to read. So it's a duology, and you'll have to excuse I didn't take the stickers off the front covers yet, but it is One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. And this is, I can't remember the name of the actual duology, but these are the deluxe editions. And like I said, they have these gorgeous covers and these amazing edges. And then they are just really, really lovely looking. It's got a quote on the naked hardcover for One Dark Window. And then I'm sure the second one has something as well. Yeah, so those are really cool. It's a duology I've wanted to read for a while, and so I thought it would why not grab the special editions when they were on sale? If I don't love them, I'll sell them later. It's fine. But apparently this is a duology about a girl who ends up having essentially like a voice inside her head. So she's on this quest to like retrieve these cards, and along the way, like I said, she's got this voice inside her head. And it's supposed to be really phenomenal, so I'm excited to read those in 2026. And that is my most recent book haul. In 2026, it is my intention to be more thoughtful in how I'm purchasing books. I've talked a couple times in my haul videos about the fact that as much as I try to only read things that I already own, like there's always new and shiny out there, and I get like it's not fun punishing yourself by saying you're just not gonna buy books. Like, I'm not good at holding a book ban. So Kristen and Maddie, who have this podcast, were talking about the fact that they are planning to be more intentional next year in cultivating their TBRs, and I took that and sort of like thought on it, and I internalized, and I really like the idea of thinking harder. So I am a person who sometimes you just get an itch, sometimes you're upset about something, sometimes you're happy, and you just sort of crave a new book, something to add to the collection. So if I am not purchasing a copy of a book that I truly loved, something like The Tress of the Emerald Sea, that I want to have in my collection for something to read again, something to sort of remind me of the experience I had at reading it, something like that. If I'm just buying a new book that's going to go onto my TBR, my plan in 2026 is to purchase books with the intention that when I buy it, I have to read it that same month, so that it's going to be something I'm excited about right now, and it's going to be added to my reading list right now. This will keep me from growing my TBR to the point that it takes me years to read some books. I want to set a realistic expectation that I'm going to work on reducing my TBR. It's never going to disappear, and I'd actually be uncomfortable if it disappeared. I like having a set of books that I can read at any given time, but I do think that I could reduce it significantly and know that I could get to just about everything on there within a certain, not ridiculous period of time if I set my mind to do that. So I haven't decided exactly what number I want to try and be under at any given time yet. I'm gonna just sort of take 2026 as it comes and see where that leads me. But I think if I work on planning that anything I purchase that is brand new to me will have to be read almost immediately, that will just naturally help reduce that phenomenon in my library. And yeah, so that's sort of the plan. So book hauls in the future should be a little smaller. And again, I should be aiming to read those books immediately upon purchase. We'll see how it goes. All right. I hope that you also got some lovely new to you books, whether they're from the bookstore, whether they're from, a secondhand seller, whether they're from the library. Just something you can look forward to reading. So if you did get something exciting recently, leave me a comment. Let me know. I'd love to. I'm always looking for more to read, obviously. So I'd love to know what you're reading. All right, bye.